Delilah's laughter cut through the summer air, sharp and biting. The kind that was designed to tear someone down. "Oh my God," she jeered, pointing at my car as if it were some ancient relic. "You actually drove that pathetic little Honda here." She made sure everyone heard, loud enough for the cousins to giggle and Aunt Marie to fake a chuckle, taking a sip of her sangria as if it tasted sour. I didn't respond, just quietly tucked the keys into my purse and stepped aside. That's when the man in the navy suit made his move. He didn't speak, just nodded at me with a single measured gesture. Calm and composed, the kind of man whose presence made people assume he was either a husband or a security guard, depending on the sharpness of his jawline. Delilah's laughter faltered in her throat. She didn't recognize him, but she would soon enough. 3 days later, the silence shattered. Delilah's mansion, her 5-bedroom shrine to her inflated ego, was crawling with agents. Not regular police, worse. The Financial Crimes Division. Investigators who had no agenda to prove, but everything to seize. Her husband was dragged onto the front lawn in his boxers, shouting about tax loopholes. The neighbors gathered, filming, posting. And there was Delilah, crying in the back of a black SUV. No makeup, no filters. She wasn't the star of the show anymore. She looked small, just like she made me feel for all those years. Once we were close, back before the money, before the men, and before she lost herself in her reflection. She had been the golden child. The blonde with the glow that seemed to radiate from within. That laugh, the one she used to humiliate me in front of the family, had once been reserved for bedtime stories and whispered secrets. I remember when we were girls, lying in the dark, dreaming of escaping to Paris. She'd trace a map in the air with her finger, and I'd pretend to believe it. But life changed. Delilah learned how to navigate it with sharp elbows and sharper lies. She married well, then cheated better. Meanwhile, I lived my life with spreadsheets. I watched, listened, and waited. The breaking point came 2 years ago, at our mother's funeral. Delilah arrived late, wearing white and reeking of alcohol. She clung to fake sobs, hijacked the eulogy, and declared how she had always been the one to care for Mom. I stood there, paralyzed, knowing it had been me who fed her through chemotherapy. Me who wiped the blood from her mouth at 3 a.m. Delilah? She sent flowers and paid the bills. Afterward, she cornered me by the casket. "You've always been the shadow, haven't you?" she whispered. "Maybe now, with Mom gone, you'll finally step into the light." That's when I began digging. I didn't shout, didn't confront. I did what I did best. I organized. First, I found the bank records. Delilah's husband was sloppy. Shell companies, offshore accounts, fake invoices built on real foundations. Charity fraud. I documented everything. Copied it. Stored it on encrypted drives. Then I watched her, tracked her movements, logged her fake identities, her burner phones, and her spending habits. She had a thing for private jets and married men, both of which left behind trails. I found the whistleblower statutes. I documented it all. I waited until her husband signed a new mortgage, making Delilah legally liable for the money laundering he thought she didn't understand. She wasn't dumb, though. She was complicit. The man in the navy suit? He wasn't my husband. He was Special Agent Luis Ramirez from the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. He stood next to me at the reunion because timing, like everything else, matters. Delilah needed to laugh that laugh one more time. Needed to strike me one last time before I twisted the knife right back at her. Because poetic justice tastes sweeter when it's served cold. In front of everyone she once deceived. The fallout was swift. Delilah's accounts were frozen. Her face plastered across news segments she couldn't control. Her sponsors dropped her. Her brands deleted her. Her PR team disappeared the moment the fraud allegations stuck. Her husband flipped on her, pinning most of the blame on her. She never saw it coming. She never saw anything that wasn't a reflection of herself. 2 weeks later, she called me from jail. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail, her voice like a burn in my ear. "You think you've won? You think you're better than me now?" she sneered. "No. I've always been better. I just never needed to prove it until you made it personal." I deleted the voicemail. Silence was the only response that mattered. I still drive the same Honda. It's paid off, quiet and honest. The same can't be said for Delilah. She sold her jewelry to pay her legal fees. Her influencer account is locked. Her kids live with their father now, learning what truth sounds like from someone else's lips. The world doesn't miss her. Neither do I. But sometimes late at night I replay that moment. The exact second her laughter died, when the man in the navy suit stepped forward and she realized, too late, that the joke had always been on her. That moment lingers in my mind, quieter than I imagined. No music. No applause. Just the wind shifting. Justice slow, deliberate, and as merciless as I was.